I still remember the day I took the wrong turn, and how it changed everything. It was a gloomy Thursday afternoon, and I was rushing to a job interview in a city I barely knew. My GPS had gone silent, my phone battery was dying, and the rain had begun to fall, not in gentle drops but in thick, relentless sheets that made everything blurry. I panicked, took a left turn I wasn't supposed to, and within minutes I was hopelessly lost. I pulled over near a worn-out sign that read, "Welcome to Darya Nagar." Never heard of it. A small, forgotten town, it seemed, quiet, sleepy, almost deserted. The roads were cracked, the buildings old and weary, and the only thing louder than the rain was the pounding of my own frustration. I was angry. At the GPS, at the weather, at life, but mostly at myself. Out of sheer desperation, I stepped out of the car and ran into the nearest shelter I could find. A small tea stall with faded blue paint and a wooden bench that had seen better days. The stall owner, an old man with kind eyes and a calm smile, looked up. "You're a bit far from where you meant to be, aren't you?" he asked. "Yeah," I said, breathless. "I took the wrong turn." He chuckled and handed me a steaming cup of tea. "Sometimes wrong turns take you to the right places." I smiled politely, not really in the mood for philosophy. I was wet, cold, and probably going to miss the most important interview of my life. But then, my phone died. "Great," I muttered. The old man noticed. "No charger. No signal. No hope, really." He pulled out a dry towel and offered it to me. "Relax. You're here now. Why not rest for a bit?" Something in his voice, calm, assuring, patient, made me pause. I sat down on the bench and sipped the tea. It was warm, sweet, and surprisingly comforting. Over the next hour we talked. He told me about the town, how it used to be full of life, how people had moved away in search of something better, and how he had stayed back to look after his aging parents and later, his wife who had passed away a few years ago. "You stayed even when everyone left?" I asked. He nodded. "Because staying behind doesn't always mean you're stuck. Sometimes it means you're holding on to what matters." I didn't reply, but his words stuck with me. As the rain softened, I decided to take a short walk through the town. I passed a broken playground, a closed school, and a little house with flowers blooming in rusty cans. Everything seemed forgotten, yet oddly peaceful. Then I saw her. A young girl, maybe 10 or 11, sitting under a tree, drawing on a piece of paper with a broken crayon. She looked up and smiled shyly. "Hi," she said. "Are you the man who took the wrong turn?" I laughed. "Word spreads fast. My grandpa told me," she said, nodding toward the tea stall. "He says the wrong turn brought you here for a reason." I sat beside her. "What are you drawing?" I asked. "A new sign for the town," she said. "One that doesn't look so sad." I looked down. She had drawn flowers, happy people, kids playing, everything the town used to be, perhaps. Or maybe what she hoped it would become. She looked up. "Do you like it?" I nodded. "Very much." That night the old man insisted I stay. His home was simple but warm. He made rice and lentils and we sat on the floor and ate with our hands. Felt honest. No phones, no rush, no noise, just real conversation. The next morning I woke up to find a small paper note beside my pillow. Read, "Don't chase success so fast that you forget where peace lives." I drove away with a full heart, and no regrets. A year passed. I didn't get that job. I didn't even apply again. Instead, I started something new. Inspired by that little girl's drawing and the old man's wisdom, I started a small community project in my own town, building creative spaces for children in forgotten neighborhoods. It grew faster than I imagined. Volunteers joined. Donations came in. One small garden turned into a youth center. Then a library. Then more. One day, a journalist asked me, "What inspired you to do all this?" I smiled. A wrong turn. Last month, I went back to Darya Nagar. The tea stall was still there, now freshly painted, with little flower pots lining the edge. The bench was new, but the man behind the counter was the same. He smiled as if he'd been waiting for me all along. "You found your way?" he asked. "I did," I replied. "Thanks to you." And just as I was about to leave, the little girl, now taller, more confident, ran up and handed me a folded paper. It was the new sign for the town. Read, "Welcome to Darya Nagar, the town that finds lost souls."